Hi, welcome to this video. This is day 2, investigating residency programs and key personnel. So today I'm going to do a walkthrough of 2 tools, the Residency Explorer and the FREIDA, and how you can use the residency program discovery sheet, an organization, an alignment sheet, sorry, and it will give you the way to most effectively research programs and find out which ones you're a good match for. What are you a good fit for? And so you're going to start by researching at least 3 programs to learn the process. And later you're going to want to add more programs that are a good fit for you. So, and then I would like for you to share at the bottom here, what is your dream program and what's your safety program? So that's a reach and a safety. And then that will, so if you research 3 programs, a reach, a match, a safety, we'll say a reach, a good fit, and a safety, then you're on your way there. Okay. So before you watch any more of this video, you'll want to download this program discovery and alignment organizer. It looks like this. Okay, so this is what it should look like. So you want to download it while you're watching this video. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so the main tool that you're going to use to research programs is the Residency Explorer tool. We will talk a little bit about FREIDA as well, but I just think that they have really upped their game over there. They have been continually making improvements. And I think that the AAMC and ARIS, they kind of got their feelings hurt when the OBGYN left. So I think since then, they are really trying to improve. So if you are OBGYN, you can still use Residency Explorer tool, okay? And if you're not OBGYN, you can still use FREIDA. Let me just say that right now. So I'm going to show you how to use both, but we're going to start with the Residency Explorer tool just because I think it's really good. So let me get signed in. Okay, so in Residency Explorer tool, you've got, this is your home page, but you have 3 other sections. It's broken down into My Profile, Explore, and Compare. Okay, so My Profile, Explore, and Compare. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you today for your first run through, So after you do your first run through and you get a list of programs that you're considering applying to, you're going to want to come back to the tool several times. But on the first pass, I don't think that it's necessary to fill out the My Profile section. And the reason is because it's going to narrow down your search. And right now, this isn't the best way to narrow it down for an IMG. Okay, so we're going to skip this page for now, and then you can come back to it after you have your list, and it will help you to kind of narrow it down from there. So let's just say you have 200 programs. You can come back to My Profile and then narrow it down further based on things that you want. So this page, My Profile, is all about you and what you want in a program. So the characteristics of the program, okay, research opportunities, employment benefits, practice environment, okay, like if it's community-based, university-based. This one may be important for you if you wanted to find out like how many non-US IMGs there are in the program, and what do they go on to fellowships. Okay, so that is all about you, and it will narrow down the search. So I think in the first pass, just skip that part. So now we're going to go on to the Explore section, and you'll see here that there's all these, information pop-ups here. And the reason why the data sometimes for this, for some of these things that they're showing you this year, is it's not as robust as maybe they want it to be because it's the first year. So not all the data is available, and not all the data, it's on a small sample size. So you'll see that sample sizes are insufficient, right? So if it's not displayed, then you'll have to keep that in mind. Now, as of today, it's a lot of these are saying that the data will be available in August. So depending on when you're watching this video, if it's before August, there may be a lot of blank spaces. If it's after August, maybe everything's okay. So just keep that in mind. So the first thing you want to do is come up here to the far right and choose your specialty. Okay, so all the specialties are here. More have been added since last year. So hopefully, you know, everybody's in there. I'm just going to choose internal medicine for now because so many of you do apply for that. So if we come over here, I'm going to just do it like it normally shows up. So this is because I've already had done this before. So, okay. So this is what the page would normally look like when you first come to it. So the first thing you want to do is come up here, choose your specialty. Then you want to come over here to the left, and I think you should look at it by the region. So that way it's not such a huge list. So then if you think about what your geographic preferences are, then you can start there. And even if you don't have a preference, you can just go from one region to the next, and that will be helpful. I just had that up. It's the geographic census areas. So, okay, oh, here it is, right here. So, like, for example, one very popular one is the Middle Atlantic because it has New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. So you can look at the map. I think I have it on another slide or in one of the lessons. So you can look at the actual map and where these are, or you could just, you know, look at this if you know where the areas are. So let's just choose Middle Atlantic for now. So we want to come down here and say, you know, if the visas are sponsored, so you kind of need that, right? And then in order to make it not so many columns, you can take out these, okay? And then just go down to non-US IMG, or if you're a US IMG, I know I have some of those as well. So just choose what your status is. So if you look down here, this is really new and kind of cool. So what you have here are these columns. This is all new. So it used to be like you'd have to go to FREIDA to find out the scores, or it was difficult to find. Now, Residency Explorer has shown you what the middle 80% of scores are. So the middle 80%, so that means from the 10% percentile to the 90th percentile. So there are scores that are lower than 230, just for example, for Lincoln Medical. There are scores that are lower than 236 that have been interviewed. So these are the interviewees, okay? And there are those that have had higher, but this is the middle 80%. And then you'll see that they have, this one's blank because probably they haven't reported yet, but their interview rate for people of different characteristics. So this is, you know, how many were interviewed that gave percentage that gave a silver signal, how many were given an invitation with a gold signal, how many with no signal. Okay, and we'll go through this in a minute. So this is really important when you're trying to decide who to signal. So let's just say that you would like to go to Jacobi Medical Center, Albert Einstein College of Medicine, and you'll see that you really want to go there, but you're not sure whether to use your signal or not. Well, look, 0% got an invitation if they didn't signal at all. Ouch. You know, so if you really want to get an interview there, you're going to probably have to signal them. But you'll see here, 8% got with no signal, got an invitation. So there is a chance at least here. But remember, this is the first year that they're collecting this data. So I wouldn't go 100% on this, but I think it's just one little extra piece of knowledge that can help you decide which programs to apply to. And right here, you can actually do this so that it is giving you the biggest number at the top. Now, you would think that this would be an important number for you as a non-US IMG, but I have a better place to look than here to decide if a program is IMG friendly, because this is not really that helpful to you. I'll show you what's helpful here in a minute. So that's the first part. And so you'll see in the Mid-Atlantic, there are 104 programs just in the Middle Atlantic that will take an IMG that needs a J1 visa. Okay. All right. So the next thing, and if you click on, since this one has some blanks, I'm just going to choose another one so that you can see. Wait, no, I wanted to use the other one. I wanted to use Lincoln because I already know about it. So here's what you do. This is how you use your residency program discovery and alignment organizer. That's a long, we just call it the organizer. So you can take the information here and you can put it in your organizer for use later. Now there is a way that you can you can download the right from Residency Explorer. There's a way that you can download all this information. But there's some things on my organizer that won't be included on their download. And I think they're going to download more than you need. But if you come over here to the right, once you have decided which programs to apply to, you can start working on your interview answers, responses on this one for that particular program. So that's why people used it last year and they thought it was really, really helpful. So I'd like for you to use it too if you'd like. Okay, so you take this information and you put it in your organizer for later use. And then you can say, I'm going to show you how to find these. So you've got that step 2 CK. So it needs to be the minimum score should be, I think it was, you could, hold on, let me go back to where it showed it before. Okay, so it says 236 to 269, and this is from last year. This was the average. So you could say, you could change that and say, what was it, 236 to, I now forgot what it said, 236 to 269. So you know that if your step 2 CK is between that, you're probably okay. As far as at least you won't be excluded. You won't be filtered out, okay? And then we want to go to its main page, its profile page, and go down here and you'll see that the setting is here. You'll see how many residents are here. And there's so much when you go down. So it says letters of recommendation. It's not here, but it's going to come. So you'll be able to find out what that is later. Let's see. If I go, I'm going to go to the other one because it seems like they have more information. Let's see. No, they don't really have more either. Everything's coming in August. So you just have to go back and look at it after August. Okay. So I'm going back to Lincoln. So I'm going down and it'll say license exam requirements that are, if they're different, then it'll tell you. So is a passing score considered for interview? And so it'll tell you what they are there. And it says, like if you wanted an H1B that they don't have it there. Let's see, what else do I want to show you? I think some of this stuff is interesting, but we can keep going down. to the couple of things that is important. So, this is how many applicants. This is how many applied. So there's a lot of applicants there, right? All right. So that many applied, that many, so about 10% were invited for interviewing. I still don't think that that's really as important for you, but here's a couple of things that would be. Geographic preference, is it aligned, not aligned, or no preference? State alignment, invited 12%, 8%. That's not a whole lot. Let's see, this one is good, never failed or ever failed. So this means 7% got an invitation for those that had an attempt on their step one. So that means at least they will consider you, okay? How many IMGs? Okay, and here are the exam scores, and this is what I was talking about. Non-US IMGs. So here is their percentile scores there. And so that one, it's a little bit higher for IMGs, 241 to 271. And these are called, I think, boxes, and these are called whiskers. So even someone at, 242 was invited, and someone as high as 272. Okay. So you could keep going down and you can find out, like, wow, how many residents by medical schools type. So this is 95% of residents are non-US IMGs, and this is the average. So they're well above average. So you can decide that, okay, this is IMG friendly. And this is kind of cool because this is where the current residents have gone to school. So if you see your medical school on there, maybe you could start reaching out to some of the residents, from your medical school or somewhere close. Let's see. So that's about it for that one. So those are more information that you can go through. I wouldn't do that on the first pass, but it's there. It's helpful when you need it. So then I want to show you the compare, because then you can get some more information that I want to show you about how to decide if something is a IMG friendly school. All right, so I'm going to compare. So I click which ones I want to compare, then I click compare programs. And this is what I want you to do. Later you can compare them, but all I want you to do is come all the way down to the bottom left, composition of applicants invited to interview by medical school type. Okay, so that's the only one I want you to click here and then hit submit, and you will get all of these there. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I guess one's over to the right, but I can't see how to do it. How do I get it over there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, they're all there. So we're going to go all the way down here. Composition of applicants who applied or who were invited to interview and invited. So these are the invitations. So you can see 80% of those who applied were invited to interview. That's so 80% of the invitations went to non-US IMGs. 80% here, 36% here, 60, 81, 30. These are all real high. Okay, so you can see that all of these are really IMG friendly. So anything that's above a 30%, so you're adding all of these together. So 80% of those invited were IMGs, 12% were US IMGs, 2% were DOs, and 6% were MDs, US, like MDs from the United States. So you can see that that is a really important number when deciding if something is IMG friendly. And I'm not saying that you should only apply to programs that are IMG friendly, but that's something that most IMGs want to know about before, if that says, so in other words, if that said 0, I mean, would you really want to apply there? that would be a big, big risk. But if it had something like 30%, that's good. All right, and so then you can come back here and you can put that percentage right there. You can put the sponsorship, the region, you can put all these things. And you could even put over here to the right, who are the key personnel, the program director, the program coordinator, chief resident, and email for later use. So you can get that. You can get that if you just go back to, hold on, let me get back to this one. If you just click on there, then you can see the program director, coordinator, okay, and the phone number. So that's what you really need. This is the program coordinator's phone number instead of the regular phone number. This will just take you to the main switchboard. So you want that phone number. And you definitely need the code, because here's a good thing about having the code. If you will put that, if you will store that here, store it here in the program code, then later, let's just say you're going to FREIDA, and it's really easy if you have, let me go back. If I want to explore, what am I doing? Tools and resources. Explore specialties. I think this is what we want. Okay, and then you can just put the ID right there, paste it in, and then it's a really nice shortcut. And then you can look at things here that you may not have under Residency Explorer. So for example, when are they going to do virtual virtual interviews? Yes. And then it says the other one was interview period for 2026, 2027. Oh, wait, it doesn't show. Okay, here it is. So here is when the invitations are going to be given out, so that you'll know that. And then also, this is your year of graduation. So if you wanted to know what is their, like it has to be before 6 years, so you could put 6 years. That's how I got 6 years right there. Year of graduation, 6 years. So there still is a couple of things in FREIDA that you can't get in Residency Explorer yet, but I think they're going to be coming, right? And you can always look here as well. So that is what I have for Residency Explorer tool and how to use the Residency Program Discovery and Alignment Organizer. Okay, thank you, and I'll see you next time in the next video.